मैं आपका बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ। आपका रेट भी 4000 रुपया है आज प्रेजेंट में मार्केट। और आपका क्या विचार है बोनस के बारे में सर? अपने कंपनी इतनी अच्छी मैनेजमेंट मैनेजर और अपना कंपनी सर इतनी अच्छी है और अपने आपके कंपनी का स्टाफ है, दे आर वेरी हेल्पफुल। 2 दिन पहले उन्होंने सर मेरे को करीबन आधा घंटा दिया, ऐसा कोई नहीं करके सर स्टाफ बहुत अच्छे हैं। मैं उनके खुदा से आपको दुआ चाहता हूँ ऐसे स्टाफ सर कंपनी को सर। थैंक यू। बस मुझे और तो कुछ नहीं कहना है आपसे सर। अभी नेक्स्ट से सर होए तो वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस खत्म करो, गेट टुगेदर रखो सर, मतलब नॉर्मल फिजिकल मीटिंग रखो तो हम मिल सकते सर। ये प्रॉब्लम होएगा ही नहीं सर। नेक्स्ट से सर फिजिकल रखने का मैं धन्यवाद, मैं आपको कृपा करता हूँ कि नेक्स्ट ईयर फिजिकल रख तो आपसे मुलाकात होगी, रूबरू आपसे बातें होगी। बस ये चाहता हूँ सर, मुझे और तो कुछ नहीं कहना है। मैं आपका सब मैंने आपका रिजोल्यूशन को मैंने सब मेरा फुल है। और सर मैं जानना चाहता हूँ कोविड-19 में आपने कितने टोटल साल ले लिया, स्टाफ ने लिया, और टोटल कितने पीपल काम करते हैं स्टाफ वर्किंग फ्रॉम होम एंड व्हाट आर द स्टाफ पीपल एट प्रेजेंट सर? और अपना कंपनी में कोविड-19 एनीबडी इज इफेक्टेड सर? अपने सर जानना चाहता हूँ बस, मुझे और तो कुछ नहीं कहना है। थैंक यू वेरी मच, मे गॉड ब्लेस यू। थैंक्स वेरी मच।
Thank you, Yusuf bhai. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Dharav Jamedar from Surat. Mr. Dharav, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera, and ask your question, please.
Yes, sir. Namaste, sir. Greetings of the day to all the dignitaries. Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Sir, first of all, thank you for providing me such a wonderful opportunity to speak with all of you. It's an honor, sir. Deepak sir, KK sir, being an idol to me. I follow your work too closely, sir. So I'm a proud shareholder of the company and also a loyal customer too. I would like to congratulate Mr. Navneet Munot for taking up the helm of the company. And I wish him all the best for his upcoming journey. Sir, I have a couple of questions which I would like to know from you. First question is, sir, at how and at what scale is our company utilizing the AI, that is artificial intelligence and deep learning technology, in order to earn best of the returns for the customers? Second question, I would like to congratulate the company on attaining its highest AUM numbers during this uncertainty, but losing the market share to the peers is also axiomatically a deep concern. So, sir, I would like to your views on it. Third, is our company thinking of having a global expansion? If yes, can you please give us a highlight on it? Fourth, do you think financialization of capital, particularly of retail investors, will carry on to the years coming on? And considering their participation to increase, being a research scholar in behavioral finance, the research and literature have proven that the increase in retail investor participation would bring on more, because their decisions are mainly biased or they are highly influenced by the sentiments. So, sir, would it be sustainable for the share market as a whole? Fifth and the last question, how is our company preparing for slow growth, which it experienced last year because of pandemic? God forbid, let's say another COVID wave or another pandemic. Then, can our company sustain the high margins which we have clocked this financial year?
You are now muted.
Thank you so much. Wishing you all a good, happy financial year ahead, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Krishan Lal Chadda from Delhi. Mr. Krishan Lal Chadda, we request you to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
You're audible.
Hello? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Sir, I am from Delhi. I am really thankful to the Mr. Company Secretary and the shareholder department who given me the chance to speak on this portal. I am talk about with my home, from my home. Sir, first of all, I really congratulate you to given me the opportunity, and I have joined this meeting via AOVM portal. Sir,
I have received the mail for the AGM from your side on 22 June 2021 beyond on time, and I am really thankful to Mr. वाल्डे वर्गेरे जी जिन्होंने मुझे इस पोर्टल पे ज्वाइन कराने के लिए काफी मदद की। सर कुछ क्वेश्चंस हैं मेरे आपके साथ जो मैं शेयर करना चाहता हूं और कुछ उसके व्यूज जानना चाहता हूं। सबसे पहले तो सर जो इस साल हम लोगों ने प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी कमाई है वो 1325 करोड़ रुपए है, जो कि हमारी एम्प्लॉय डाटा के ऊपर 1254 एम्प्लॉयज है सिर्फ हमारे। जो हमारी डिविडेंड है वो लास्ट ईयर हमने 28 रुपीज का पे किया था और दिस ईयर हमने 34 रुपीज पे कर रहे हैं हम एवरी शेयर होल्डर को। इसके लिए भी मैं मैनेजमेंट का काफी थैंकफुल हूँ कि उन्होंने इस पैंडेमिक सिचुएशन में शेयर होल्डर की फीलिंग को अंडरस्टैंड किया है और उन्होंने शेयर होल्डर को जो डिविडेंड है वो काफी बढ़ा कर देने की कोशिश की है। और मैं आशा करता हूं कि मैनेजमेंट इसी तरह से इसे आने वाले समय में बढ़ा कर देने की कोशिश करेगी और शेयर होल्डर की ग्रोथ भी बढ़िया रखेगी। तीसरी बात सर मैं ये मैनेजमेंट से कहना चाहता हूं कि इस पैंडेमिक सिचुएशन में हॉस्पिटैलिटी इंडस्ट्री में होटल्स, ट्रेवल्स, टूर एंड ट्रेवल, एविएशन इंडस्ट्री को काफी मुश्किलें हुई है का सामना करना पड़ा है, लेकिन उसी के एवज में मेडिकल इंडस्ट्री जो है, हॉस्पिटल्स जो है, एग्रीकल्चर इंडस्ट्री, रिटेल और ऑटो इंडस्ट्री ने काफी अच्छी प्रेजेंटेशन दी है जिससे का बेनिफिट हमारी कंपनी को मिला है। सर हमारा जो रेवेन्यू है इस साल का ऑपरेशनल है 1852 करोड़ रुपए है, जो कि पिछले साल के मुकाबले 2003 करोड़ की एवज में 10% की माइनस रिकवरी पे खड़ा हुआ है। उसके बावजूद भी हमने अच्छा सोचा है शेयर होल्डर के लिए, इसके लिए भी मैं मैनेजमेंट का धन्यवाद करता हूं। लेकिन जो हमारी इस साल की रिकवरी फ्रॉम अदर इनकम्स है वो 350 करोड़ रुपीस आई है, जो लास्ट ईयर 140 करोड़ रुपीस थी। वो आई थिंक जंप है 150% का बूम जंप है। इसके लिए सर मैं मैनेजमेंट से चाहता था कि आप इस पैसे को शेयर होल्डर को एक स्पेशल डिविडेंड के तौर पे दें ताकि शेयर होल्डर को लगे कि जो कंपनी ने अदर इनकम से बूम कमाया है वो शेयर होल्डर में उसी तरीके से डिस्ट्रीब्यूट भी किया है। सर मैं मैनेजमेंट से एक ये रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहता हूं कि जो अनक्लेम अनपेड डिविडेंड मार्च 21 तक का 45 लाख रुपीस शेयर होल्डर्स का पेंडिंग में खड़ा हुआ है, अगर उसके लिए सेक्रेटरियल डिपार्टमेंट और मैनेजमेंट और रजिस्ट्रार जो कोई एफर्ट रजिस्ट्रार की तरफ से नहीं हो पाता है तो उसके लिए जो हमारा सेक्रेटरियल डिपार्टमेंट है मिस्टर सिल्विया फर्ताडो जी वो इस बात का थोड़ा ध्यान करें कि हम किस तरीके से शेयर होल्डर्स को इसके लिए रखते हैं हर क्वार्टर बेसिस पे कि क्योंकि कुछ लोगों के पास जो डिविडेंड है आई थिंक उनका नहीं पहुंच पा रहा है, जो लॉकडाउन पीरियड में जब तक उन पर पहुंच पाता है तब तक उसके डीडीज या जो उसकी उसके चेक्स हैं वो सर उस एक्सपायर हो जाते हैं तो उन तक इंटीमेशन नहीं पहुंच पा रही है या वो लेट हो जाती है। क्योंकि मैंने भी कुछ केसेस में जैसे कार्वी के थ्रू हैदराबाद के थ्रू जो डीलर के डिविडेंड के चेक्स रिसीव किए हैं तो वो ऑलमोस्ट समझ लीजिए कि जब 3 महीने की एक्सपायरी होती है तो आई रिसीव्ड ओनली 3 days बिफोर, जब उसकी 3 दिन की एक्सपायरी रह गई थी तो मैंने उसकी कैंसिलेशन ना हो जाए तो बैंक में मैंने जमा नहीं कराए। उसके लिए मैं मैनेजमेंट के बोर्ड के जो हमारे डायरेक्टर्स हैं उन्होंने इनका भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूँ। रोशनी नादा जी की जो हमारी HCL में भी काफी नॉन एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर है और हमारी कंपनी में भी जुड़ी हुई है, उनकी एक्सपीरियंस के अंदर हमने उनकी जो एक्सपीरियंस है उसको हम गेन करके अपनी कंपनी में काफी बेनिफिट गेन कर रहे हैं। जो संजय भंडारकर जी हैं इस चांद के, उनकी भी जो अध्यक्षता है उसमें भी हम काफी गेन कर रहे हैं। जो ध्रुव काजी जी हैं वो नेटवर्क 18 और नेटवर्क टीवी 18 के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, उनकी भी काफी अच्छी हमारे को मिल रही है। और मैं मैनेजमेंट का ये भी धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूँ क्योंकि ये कुछ जो कंपनीज हैं कभी कभी इनके अंदर जो डायरेक्टर्स काम कर रहे हैं और हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं उनकी अध्यक्षता में जो हम बेनिफिट उठा रहे हैं ये हमें काफी एक अचीवेबल मार्केट की वोलेटिलिटी बेनिफिट मिल जाता है। मैनेजमेंट को पता है कि हमारा जो शेयर प्राइस की जो फेस वैल्यू है वो 5 रुपए है और हमें आज के टाइम में जो हमारा शेयर प्राइस है वो 3100 रुपए का है, टुडे प्राइस है। हमें आज की डेट में अपने पैसे को और शेयर होल्डर की कैपिटल को जो उसको बेनिफिट है वो कराने के लिए उसको एक रिडीम कराना जो बहुत जरूरी है आज के टाइम में। तो मैनेजमेंट को कम से कम जो हमारे पास लिक्विडिटी पड़ी हुई है और रिजर्व पड़ा हुआ है उसको एनकैश करने के लिए कम से कम भी 1:1 का बोनस सोचना चाहिए। अगर मैनेजमेंट बोनस की स्थिति अभी नहीं सोच पा रही है तो कम से कम शेयर की स्प्लिटिंग 5 रुपए की फेस वैल्यू को बदल के 2 रुपए में या 1 रुपए में सोच सकती है, जिससे हम लोग अपनी इक्विटी को जो है, क्योंकि हम लोगों की जो मार्केट की इक्विटी है वो अभी आई थिंक बहुत कम है और मार्केट प्राइस का शेयर प्राइस जो है वो 3031 रुपए काफी ज्यादा हो चुका है, तो उसमें रोज का वॉलेटाइल वॉल्यूम जो है काफी कम हो जाता है। जो मेरे पूर्व प्रवक्ता यूनुस जी ने बताया कि मार्केट का शेयर प्राइस 4000 रुपए है, आई थिंक आज तक 4000 रुपए तो शेयर का प्राइस गया ही नहीं है। 52 वीक हाई भी 3350 रुपीज ही गया है, तो आई डोंट थिंक सो कि उन्होंने कहां पे शेयर प्राइस देखा है 4000, तो मैं उनकी बात से थोड़ा सहमत नहीं हूं। और मैं मैनेजमेंट से इस बात की रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहता हूं कि जिस माध्यम पे हम आप लोगों के साथ जुड़ सके हैं, आपकी एजीएम अटेंड करने के लिए, आपके सारे व्यूज जानने के लिए एक मौका होता है एजीएम का, या आपसे बात करने का एक मौका होता है एजीएम, तो मैनेजमेंट को हमें ये मौका कभी भी छोड़ना नहीं चाहिए और हमें अपने साथ जुड़े रहने का मौका देना चाहिए। तो हर साल जब आप हमारा रजिस्टर्ड ऑफिस बॉम्बे में है, तो आप हर साल एजीएम बॉम्बे करते हैं, तो अनदर स्टेट के शेयर होल्डर वहां पे आ पाना या ज्वाइन कर पाना मुश्किल हो जाता है। लेकिन ये जो एओवीएम का पोर्टल का माध्यम है, आई थिंक दिस इज द बेस्ट पोर्टल माध्यम कि हम शेयर होल्डर कहीं भी किसी हमारी इंडिया में कहीं भी बैठा हो और वो आपके साथ ज्वाइन करना चाहता है और अपने व्यूज जो है आपके साथ एक्सप्रेस करना चाहता है, तो वो आपके साथ इस माध्यम से जुड़ सकता है। यदि आप आने वाले टाइम में एजीएम को फिजिकल मैनर में करने की कोशिश भी सोच रहे हैं, तो भी आप इस बात की एक रिक्वेस्ट को अपने पास रखें कि 10 से 15 मिनट या आधे घंटे का समय उन शेयर होल्डर के लिए भी रखें जो एवीएम पोर्टल पे आपके साथ अपने व्यूज व्यक्त करना चाहते हैं और आपके साथ सजेशन देना चाहते हैं, या जो भी कंपनी के अंदर चीजें चल रही हैं उनके बारे में आपको लाइव जानकर, हम लोगों को जानकर काफी खुशी होती है। इसके लिए भी मैं मैनेजमेंट का काफी धन्यवाद करता हूँ। थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सो मच टू गिवन मी द अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑन।
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Request our next speaker, Mr. Gautam Kedar Prasad Tiwari, to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. Mr. Gautam Kedar Prasad Tiwari. Mr. Gautam Kedar Prasad Tiwari, request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question,
Can you
sir.
listen me, sir? Can you listen me?
You're audible, sir. Please proceed. Thank you.
Sir, very honorable chairman, sir. A special good afternoon to our very popular and honorable chairman, sir Deepak Parekh ji, and also good afternoon to our eminent, well dignified board of directors, HDFC AMC team, and fellow shareholders. My name is Gautam Tiwari, and I am participating at this virtual AGM from Mumbai as usual. Sir, I would like to really specially thank our MD, CEO, CFO, CS, and the full team of Secretary and Finance, including entire Board of Management, for delivering classic performance during this challenging pandemic season also, which is across the world. Sir, our company has worked very hard in identifying the areas and projects for CSR which are beneficial to the public at large as usual. Sir, I am very happy that our company has contributed rupees 7.5 crores to PM Cares Fund, which is a very good, which will be taken for a very good use for the people who are in distress. Sir, now I would like to really welcome our MD and CEO, our Mr. Navneet Munot, who has joined us and who has been appointed as our MD and CEO, and we are very sure his experience, his expertise, and he is going to help us in many ways for the good progress and health of the company. Sir, यहाँ पे I would also like to be thankful to our secretarial department, especially our company secretary Sylvia जी और उनकी supporting team like Valdez and this Vimal also, who have helped me very much in joining this virtual AGM, because last moment some problem comes which they have been solving precisely well, for which we are very much thankful. Sir, यहाँ पे हम एक, and I am very much thankful, sir, for the company paying 34 rupees dividend per share
and I'm very sure the company has always rewarded and paid handsome and generous dividend to all the shareholders. कंपनी ने शेयरहोल्डर का हित ध्यान में रखा हुआ है. सर दीपक पारेख मतलब एक ऐसा मैग्नेट है कि जो बहुत ही जनरसली शेयर होल्डर्स को उनकी हर कंपनी में जहां पे भी दीपक पारेख साहब हैं उन्होंने राइट फ्रॉम डे वन विच आई मीन ऑब्जर्विंग राइट सिंस दिस लास्ट 4 डिकेड्स और मोर कि उन्होंने जिस कंपनी में भी है इतना शेयर होल्डर्स को रिवॉर्ड किया है, इतना जनरसली रिवॉर्ड किया है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ नॉट ओनली डिविडेंड बट स्प्लिट बोनस राइट इन एवरी वे कि वो अपने आप में एक बेमिसाल है और अपने आप में एक बहुत ही शानदार चीज है और विच जितना भी थैंक करो उतने कम है उसके लिए. Sir, in order to improve my understanding and appreciation for the company's working, I have got some small questions which I would like to know, sir. CM, sir, there has been certainly improvement in performance of the company. Now, how confident is our company about the continuity and sustainability of this performance in future? Secondly, sir, are there any acquisitions opportunities which are being evaluated with the management? Sir, world is moving very fast digitally. What is our company doing on that front presently? Sir, I would like to know how many shares and dividend we have transferred to IEPF and government treasury and how many casualties this time we have experienced in our staff and recoveries. Sir, we have got total faith, confidence, trust in the management and we have been supporting not only this company but all the HDFC group of companies from day one. And we assure you, sir, that we will be there supporting you till we breathe our last. And we wish you a very, very long, happy, prosperous life to our board of management and all those who are connected, along with a bright and shiny future and a safe and protective life in the days to come. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Gautam ji.
We request our next speaker, Mr. Manoj Kumar Gupta, to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir.
Good afternoon, respected Chairman, Board of Directors, fellow shareholders. My name is Manoj Kumar Gupta. I am from Calcutta. Sir, I have a great respect to our beloved Chairman, Mr. Parekh, and our Director, Mrs. Renu Sood Kannad. And I am a great admirer of Mr. Parekh because I have connected with him from last 32 years. So we people of Calcutta always respect him because he has done a lot of things for the investors to save several companies. And sir, we pray Almighty for his healthy and prosperous, safe, long life. And he always try to return to, I totally agree with the previous speaker, that man is principal and he always try to return to the investors. And he always think how to return the investors, how to increase the value of investors. So this is the name of Mr. Parekh. So we always propose his name to be induct in any company's board. And this time our Prime Minister has asked the people to send for the Padma Bhushan and Padma Shri name. So we are sending Mr. Deepak Parekh name to honor him by the highest award, civilian award of the nation, to keep in view in the mind for the change the economy and change the scenario in the last 6 years. Sir, I thanks to the company secretary and his team that who has helped us to join this meeting through VC. I thanks to you and your board to consider the ₹34 per share dividend. In this pandemic time, it's very good thing that you are considering a highest dividend. And sir, have you any plan for the buyback of shares? Buyback, or I respect Mrs. Renu Sood Kannad. And sir, what is your just you put the all shareholders name, those have not claimed the dividend, you can put their name on your website. Whenever they open your website, they can get their name and they can claim their dividend from the company. And thanks for return to the investors. Now the market price is 3,100 rupees, near about 3,100. So is there any plan to split the shares? Sir, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Manoj ji.
Our next speaker is Mr. Nitin Jain from Pune. Mr. Nitin, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. Mr. Nitin Parasmal Jain. We have not received any feedback from the speaker, sir. With your permission, the next speaker. Mr. Nathan, we request you to unmute your audio, sir. We are able to get your video feed. Mr. Nathan, we request you to unmute your audio, sir. We have lost the feed from the speaker. Moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Ganesh Lakshman Shenoy. Mr. Ganesh, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. Mr. Ganesh Lakshman Shenoy. Mr. Ganesh Lakshman Shenoy from Mumbai. We have not received any feedback, sir. Moving on to the next speaker.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're audible, ma'am. Please proceed.
Yes, I'm joint holder of Ganesh Shenoy. I'm Prakashini Shenoy from Bombay. Respected Honorable Chairman, Shri Parekh ji, and other dignitaries on the board, and my fellow shareholders, good afternoon to all of you. I received the soft copy of the AGM report through email, which is informative, colorful, transparent, and contains all the information as per the corporate governance. I thank the company secretary and his team for the same, and I should not forget them to thank them once again for giving me the connection of which I'm able to speak today. The chairman has given a fair picture of the bank and in his opening speech. Sir, we are living in a days where everything is unpredictable lives, including our existence. In such a circumstances, running a company like ours is not a small thing. I appreciate, sir. I'm happy that the balance sheet is healthier in spite of COVID-19 this year. I'm also thankful to the board for recommending dividend for the financial year 2021 in spite of COVID-19. Sir, I have few questions. What is the effect of COVID-19 on a company and what are its challenges? Do we come under the purview of GST? If yes, what are its ratios? I wish the company good luck for a bright future and pray God that the profit of the company shall reach the peak in due course. Sir, I support all the resolutions put forth in today's meeting. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to the next speaker. Mr. Homion Paurdehi, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, please. Homion Paurdehi. We have not received any feedback from the speaker. Moving on to the next speaker, Ms. Celestine Elizabeth Mascarenas. We kindly request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, please. Ms. Celestine Elizabeth Mascarenas.
Yes.
You have muted yourself, ma'am. Kindly unmute yourself and proceed with your question. You're audible now. Please proceed.
Hello. Yeah. Respect Chairman.
Yeah.
Shri Parekh, CEO. Other shareholders. My name is Mrs. C. Mumbai. First of all, Mr. Varghese and others for sending the report and help me. Have always
Ms. Celestine, I would request you to kindly find a better position with a signal. We're unable to get your audio feed smooth and it's not audible. With your permission, I'm moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Aloysius Peter Mascarenas from Mumbai. There is no audio feedback from the speaker. Moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Vinod Motilal Agarwal. Mr. Vinod, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, please. Mr. Vinod Motilal Agarwal, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, please. Mr. Vinod, we are unable to get your audio feed, sir. Kindly check your connection and join back. Trying to call out the names which were missed earlier. Mr. Sharad Jivraj Shah from Mumbai. Mr. Sharad Kumar Jivraj Shah from Mumbai. Request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, please. There is no feedback from the speaker. With that, all the speakers who have registered today are given an opportunity to speak. I now hand it out back to the chairman, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, shareholders, for your comments and suggestions, queries. I'm sorry, number of shareholders themselves questions were unable to join us due to some issues or unable to connect with us. I plan to answer a few general questions and on to Navneet Munot, our new CEO. I'm sure shareholders are very keen to hear from him, his vision and his understanding of the business. He's got 26 years of experience and 13 with the State Mutual Fund in a senior most position. So, some general questions. I think most of you were very happy with our secretarial department and the technical department were able to connect those who will be able to connect. And Sylvia and her colleagues have done a good job. Ashalata said that Sylvia is very shy company secretary, but she's heard you, Ashalata ji. She'll call you once things are better and meet you in our office. She's unlike Ajay Agarwal, who's more outgoing. Our company secretary, she's reserved, she's a woman, she's quiet, and so you will have to bear with that. A number of shareholders were happy with the dividend. I think the board took a decision that despite we thought of increasing the payout ratio and increasing it to rupees and over 50, around 55% was the payout ratio, higher than last year. So we have to be careful because the COVID is still there in India. People are expecting a second wave. The fag end of the second wave is not over yet. Having 30,000 cases in India every day. So we cannot really look at increasing the dividend. We have to keep some reserves. We should keep some resources for, we don't know how it will unfold. Buyback and special dividend. Again, people shareholders ask for buyback, special dividend. I think all this can be looked at behind us after a large number of the population get vaccinated, and we will not be able to look at buyback special dividend during uncertain times. And new schemes are always under preparation, under planning, and we have 2 or 3 new schemes which the company is going to file with SEBI to get approvals. I think on the employees, most work from home seamlessly, and the digital infrastructure has been in place and it's worked exceptionally well. I don't know why the staff asked about, we have nothing to do with tension and age of employees and all. I think Naveen will talk about it. Many of you also congratulated Naveen. We also in the board have congratulated him during the last meeting when he joined the company, and we wished him good luck. A long presentation today in the morning to the board on his vision and future as he sees the AMC industry. Share price, Manoj Maheshwari asked, it's not our duty to expect or predict what the share price will be or what the AUM will be years from now. We don't give any future projections, but obviously we are interested in growth and we are interested in increasing revenue, and that will happen. On the CSR, one reason why you find more amount committed to Maharashtra is we had given some money to the PM Cares Fund, and that was from office, but the PM Fund money was used across the country by the PM's Care Fund. We managed that. take your point. We will be diversifying. We will going to look at other parts of the country also. Bonus also is at the moment it's not possible, and you were happy, Mr. Gangwal, about the helplessness of the staff, and they have given you. Surat, Arav, you are a loyal customer. You also welcome Naveen. You also welcome Naveen. And expansion, we have some plans to increase the in the East area. We will try and do this year. Retail investor, during this pandemic, our experience has been that large number of investors have come in mutual fund industry. Mr. Chadda, you asked about unclaimed dividend. I agree. Unclaimed dividend is a large amount, and Sylvia, we and the registrar must then keep on writing to the shareholders to claim dividend. And Mr. Chadda was happy with Roshni and Sandarkar and Kaji. And Mr. Chadda's view is that all meetings should be done on video and not physical. Mr. Chadda, we have some shareholders who want only physical and they don't want video. So we'll see how SEBI calls this AGM proceedings in future. Diwali Saab also was very happy with the team and he welcomed Naveen Munot. As I said, 7.5 was given on PM Cares Fund. Acquisition, we cannot talk openly about acquisition, but our ears and eyes are always open to see if anything is available and fit in with our skills and with our objectives. Out of 1,258 people, 357 got COVID. These are both working directly on our payroll and our associates. And in the first wave, we did not have any fatalities. In the second wave, we lost 2 of our employees. As we speak now, there are only 3 employees who are under the active list. Manoj also talked about split, buybacks. So we looked at that time. Impact again. Navneet, I've tried to answer some of the questions, general questions. Now I leave it to you, whether you want to take some questions or you want Prashant to take some questions and move on.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. And once again, I want to thank all the shareholders who are present today. Of course, all the directors who are present today. Everybody has talked about our chairman. He's been a leading light for us as well over the years. People have appreciated our board. They have been guiding us in our journey. We have an excellent management team. Of course, a lot of you have thanked the management team and have appreciated their work, particularly during the COVID-19. They've done an excellent work given the situation over the last 15 months, and I thank you so much for that. And of course, the praise for the secretarial team, which is very well deserved. So Sylvia, Valde, each one of them, and I'll communicate your appreciation to them. My sincere gratitude to my predecessor, Milind Barve, who built this company right from the ideation stage to a pioneering asset management company in India, one of the best and leading asset management company. He's built a business which has scale, which has quality, and which has industry-leading profitability. I think, Chairman Sir, I think most of the questions you have answered. There were few points regarding our preparedness or the impact on business due to COVID. We have a very robust IT infrastructure. We have very high-quality digital assets, both for the investors as well as for our channel partners. So activation of our business continuity plan ensured that we had seamless remote working for our major business functions, and it had limited impact on our income and operations. And I think the IT systems and digital platforms were the pillars on which we were able to operate seamlessly. About the cost efficiency, of course, we have been a very, very cost-efficient organization, and our continuous cost saving and rationalization exercise also led to a lot of cost saving in FY21 compared to FY20. Somebody asked about where the cost saving happened. I think it was primarily in business development, office maintenance, travel, and printing expense as we reoriented, re-engineered our business processes. There were questions regarding buybacks or special dividend, which I think Chairman has responded to. Some of the questions on the new products, you would have seen a highly successful NFO from our side, HDFC Banking and Financial Fund. I hope some of you may have participated that fund. That fund received huge response, more than 1 lakh investors and over 1,800 crores of collection during the NFO. During the quarter, we also had the new fund offering of an HDFC Asset Allocator Fund of Fund. Some of you talked about the dividend yield fund, and thanks for the appreciation of the performance of that fund so far. We have few more funds in the pipeline over the next several quarters to fill wherever there is a gap in our product bouquet. There were some questions about anything else? On the employee number, and I've got the number about how many male and female employees. We have 379 female employees and 875 male employees. The average age is 34 years. And on your suggestions about the unclaimed dividend and some of the other things have been taken note of. Thanks for the appreciation of our CSR work, and whatever comments that you have mentioned, we will take note of. I think with that, we have been able to respond to most of the questions. There was some question from Mr. Manoj about our journey over the next couple of years in terms of the business prospects. I think Chairman mentioned in his opening remarks that in India, the mutual fund industry is still very small relative to the size of GDP, relative to the size of bank deposits, relative to the size of overall savings pool. We have a long way to go. Even today, there are just little over 2 crore investors, unique PAN number, who have invested in mutual funds. So we have a long way to go. While there are 10 crore folios, but unique investors are still very small relative to the size of the country. Over the next several years, given the pedigree, given our people, our products, which have one of the best long-term track record of performance, given our presence across the country with 227 branches and the state-of-the-art IT infrastructure and the digital assets that we have created, we have no doubt in our mind that over the next several years, as mutual fund industry continues to make a lot of progress, our company will continue to remain a pioneer in that field. Somebody asked about the I think, Ms. Mascarens could not attend, but she has sent her questions to us through email. Is there insurance covering the entire gambit of our operations and protect the company from unexpected risk in future? Yes, our insurance policies cover the entire gamut of our operations and protect the company from unexpected exigencies in the future. We have specialized policy coverage as the investment manager to HDFC Mutual Fund, which in addition to the company also protects our employees, directors, and the trustee company of HDFC Mutual Fund. Our policies also include cover for vicarious liability of AMC for acts of our service providers, which includes registrar and transfer agents, custodian, who are associated with our mutual fund business. There were 2 questions from Mr. Dharab about, is our company thinking of having a global expansion? If yes, you can highlight about the global expansion plan. So we do manage money for some of the global investors and will continue to build further on that. We also have plans of creating mutual fund products which will invest internationally. So both sides, providing an opportunity for Indian investors to invest internationally, as well as attracting money from global investors to invest in India. And to cater to the NRI audience in the Middle East, we have an representative office in Dubai. There's one question about how is our company preparing for slow growth, which was experienced last year. because of a pandemic, and God forbid, let's say for another pandemic or so. So the business continuity plan really helped us tide over the challenges that were brought in by the pandemic last year. I mentioned about our robust digital infrastructure, our digital assets, and they ensured that the business operations remained seamless. Finally, we are part of the system. Of course, if there is a third wave, as you mentioned, God forbid, it will impact everybody. But as Chairman also mentioned in the annual report that our business is volatile, depends on the market movement, depends on the economic development, depends on some of these macro factors. Having said that, I would say that we have a very, very robust IT infrastructure and should be able to manage that. Over the last 15 or 16 months, we've got a good experience of managing our operations where large number of people were working from home, particularly during the first wave of COVID as well as in the second wave of COVID. One question was from Mr. Santosh about the steps taken to protect investors' fund from situations of what happened in the debt fund of Franklin Templeton Mutual Fund. So we are guided by our investment philosophy. We have always mentioned that for us, we follow this philosophy of SLR, safety, liquidity, and then return, generally in that order. And given the limited liquidity of fixed income markets in India, especially in difficult times, we believe focus on liquidity, especially that we run large open-ended debt funds, is of paramount importance. And both our investment team, along with the risk management team, has always been cognizant of that fund, of that fact. And it was this philosophy that enabled our schemes to tide over a very challenging environment that was faced by the fixed income markets during the last 3 years. After the default of a large NBFC, then we saw some of the other defaults by some of the other entities, as well as the COVID crisis last year. And we have a robust risk management processes in place, which will help us in difficult times.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajiv.
This is your moderator, sir. Sorry. There are a few speakers who have connected back, sir. With your permission, shall I call out the names? Mr. Vinod Motilal Agarwal, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. Mr. Vinod Motilal Agarwal. Mr. Vinod, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, please. Ms. Celestine Elizabeth, we request you to proceed with your question, please. Ms. Celestine Elizabeth, we request you to proceed with your question, please. Mr. Nitin Parasmal Jain from Pune. Mr. Nitin, we request you to proceed with your question, please.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Mr. Vinod, you're audible now. Please proceed. Thank you.
Yeah. Respected Chairman Deepak Parekh ji, new MD Mr. Navneet Manoj ji, I welcome to the board. This is Vinod Agarwal speaking. Hello, I'm Vinod Agarwal speaking. Last year, the management, the revenue was the revenue from operations of 1,853 crores, while the asset under management was 3,95,476 crores. So that means the revenues were 0.% of less than 0.5% of the asset under management. And in the previous year, the asset under management was 3,19,000 and 3,19,090, and the operational revenue was 2,000 crores. So that was more than 6%. So now this degrowth in the fees or the revenues of the company on the asset management front is at the point of concern. I hope we will be able to overcome that. I mean that the company has grown substantially. We are given the share in the at 1,100. Now it is at 3,100. So I'm happy with that. And this thing, and happy with the dividend. And are the profit margins sustainable at about operational income at 80% of the margin? Are they sustainable? 1,794 crores at of the 07 crore, are they sustainable and will be receiving dividend payouts of 5% in the future? I wish you all the best. I wish Mr. Parekh all very good, and even Walde Varghese for making me join the meeting, Vimal joining me, helping me in joining the meeting. I am very much. Yes, I am signing off. Vinod Agarwal from Mumbai. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to say the first point you made about the revenue and the percentage of revenue. This really is the mix of funds that we have. If we have a larger portion of the total AUM and equity, then the revenue will be higher. If we have a larger portion of liquid funds in the total AUM, then the revenue will lower because the margin on liquid fund is the least and the margin on equity is higher. So really we cannot estimate what will be the breakup. Some years we've got very high liquid funds during the year. Some years we have more equity. So, that depends on the mix of the AUM that any company, any asset management company has. And anyway, you were happy with the results and the increase in dividend. And thank you again for joining, Mr. Agarwal.
Mr. Aspi Bamansha Besania, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. Mr. Aspi Bamansha Besania, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You're audible, sir.
Chairman, sir. Chairman, sir, I'm Aspi Besania from Bombay. Sir, is in good health instead of the pandemic. So mutual fund assets under management increased 24%, whereas AT increased by only 5%. Just now only you responded to that query. But how do you, will there be more equity funds, or certain retail investors have started coming in the market actually rather than to mutual funds? How will this trend affect us? So we have increased our dividend from 28 to 34 rupees. Will you explore the possibility of a buy? So thank you and all the best.
Thank you. I've mentioned about buyback and special dividend or higher payout ratio. So we can look at anything like this, but post-pandemic. We should have a full year of post-pandemic, then only we can look at it after it's behind us. At the moment, with uncertainty and with the third wave looming on our head, and that's what the medical people talk about, I think it's prudent to keep the dividend payout ratio at 55%. And on buyback also, I don't think that there is a possibility of buyback. And as I mentioned, the revenue growth in the equity, you are right that we are seeing some traction in this year. More retail investors are coming into the mutual fund industry, but quite a few retail investors I find are buying directly on the stock market also and bypassing the mutual fund industry. So as the equity inflow increases, the revenue will increase. But last year was a year of surplus liquidity. The whole year we had soft interest rates and very high liquidity globally and in India. As a result, the liquid funds under management had shot up, and therefore the percentages you can't do that. So,
all the speakers are completed, sir. Thank you.
In conclusion, let me say that as mentioned here, those who want to vote may do so by clicking on the icon appearing on your screen for voting. E-voting will be available for the next half an hour. I authorize Sylvia Farrow, Company Secretary, to declare the voting of the AGM at the earliest through the stock exchange. And place the same on the website of the company. The resolutions will be considered as passed subject to the receipt of requisite votes. With your permission, I call this meeting to an end. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you for attending. Thank you, directors, for attending.
Thank you.